back to another video on my channel, Logan Speed Shop. Today we're diving back into the S13. Just remember last time we did a bit of cleaning on the front, but today we get into it properly. It's back in the garage, which is exciting. Way more exciting than I can actually express, just being able to have my cars where they need to be. And yeah, looking at this, the Silvia again, I'm wrapped with how that turned out. Way better than I thought originally, so that's good as. But for now, we need to get everything off. I think it's going to start with just pulling these front plates off, pulling the intercooler pipes off, probably get the intake manifold out of the way, then just get the loom done. Don't really have a great game plan here, just got to get it all off. End of the day, it's going to be a bare tool block or thereabouts, and I'll work from that, because most things are going to change or get tidied up. You can see the intake manifold got abused by the paint stripper and the water blaster, and it's going to look better silver. Of course it's going to look better silver. So we'll get that cleaned up. Got to work out what I'm going to do with this badge while I clean it up. If I can leave it in there, if I can pull it out. It's a bit of a dilemma. Pretty excited to get these bloody things off though. The catch can line that runs to nowhere, my mate's airbox, that's not much. Actually the hot side's hot. So hot, it's burnt through the heat shield there. Lucky that hose is coming off as well. It's enough bloody talking. Let's get some stuff off this bloody thing. Guess you call that a bit of a success though. Got a hell of a lot of bits out. No real surprises, which is nice. But yeah, all this junk out. A couple of pipes that I disconnected with a bolt, weren't doing anything. Boost controller, which was actually plugged in, not hardwired, which is nice. The loom looks pretty good, and it does everything. So that's all disconnected where I can, until I get over here. And it goes through conduit. It looks like it goes up through the rail, through to this point, and now I can't get it out because these plugs are physically too big to go back that way, and it needs to somehow come out. So looks like I'll cut it, put a joist connector, so whoever buys the loom, nice and easy for them, and it's simple enough for me to do that as well. It's only a couple of wires, so I only need a 6-pin I think. Clutch master was leaking. It's not a big deal as the whole bay will get painted. No real surprises apart from the block being real black everywhere, of course. Yeah, no more goodies either, which sucks. But we'll keep going. I'll push the car back, get the radiator out. Probably end my day getting the radiator out because it means water everywhere. Absolute bloody nightmare. So we'll get that done and just let it dry off until I take it again tomorrow. Oh man, pouring more bits out, you always find some surprises. This is probably the nastiest of the lot. Look at that intercooler pipe. It's going to bend the bastard till it works. I mean, yeah, it didn't blow off, but Jesus, it's ugly. Looks like I'm going to have to cut that ugly weld off. Put a nice cast spin there as well. Not something I really wanted to do, but hey, I'm doing the other side anyway. The intercooler's got a little bit of dings and dents in it, but overall looks right. Plus it's a nice ARC one, so we'll keep that. Next up, whip that bloody hot side off. Wasn't going to pull the manifold off until I started stripping the paint off the engine and took half the paint off the manifold, so I want to redo that. Might even get it ceramic coated. Hopefully, by the time I get this manifold off, my new turbo has nearly arrived. That way I can mock it up. Started playing around with an old exhaust housing, just cutting out bends, because the external wastegate will go off similar to how it is now, just a little bit nicer and hopefully in a better position. But all waiting game, waiting for parts at the moment. Kinda just got beaten by this bloody manifold. Everything's loose, oil lines are both disconnected, and the wastegate just doesn't fit out of the hole. Trying to work out the best possible way. I don't know if I take the wastegate off or I take the turbo off. Looks much of a muchness. I reckon I can probably get the wastegate nuts easier. So give that a go. Pretty much one of the last things to get out of this bloody bay. Oh, the oil cooler and the intercooler. Then we've just got the wiring left. Wiring's not too bad. Worst case, I cut the bloody stuff. But yeah, let's get this bloody hot side out. It's irritating me now. I thought I was just going to unbolt it. It's going to slide right out. Nope. No bueno. We'll give it a fight for a few minutes and see how I go. Success. She is off. Turbo's out. And it's healthy. I thought it might have had a 10cm rear on it, but it's actually an 8. So it was just a bit of a lazy tune. Oil cooler also out, I'm just draining that. All the lines obviously out too. Blocks off, filter things off the block. Not much else to strip out apart from wiring now. And just a hell of a clean out. Wouldn't mind making some plates to go over the intake and the exhaust so I can take it outside and actually give it a decent pressure wash. Probably end up just putting rags on each of the ports. It'll work just as well. Oh, and fuel lines. They won't take much though to remove. So we'll get them out soon too. Just looking, as I look at everything, I'm trying to plan out where I'm going to mount all the filter and all the lines. Should be easy enough. Cut the lines back, make it work. But that's a bit of a later problem. And next up, yeah, rip the wiring. Take the rocker cover off so I can clean that up. Actually, probably clean the bay out first, leave the cover on. That way the cover only has to go back on once. Try and stop double handling stuff wherever I can. Really trying to pump myself up for this bit. Pulling out all this bloody wiring. Actually already been working around in the car. Take you out. Come for a walk with me. Come for a walk. So I started pulling bits out from the interior. Basically, I think I'm just going to start with getting the dash out. That way I can access everything easy enough. Undo the fuse box thing under there, jack the front up. I want to pull the front half of the loom out without cutting it, preferably. Someone asked me for it. We'll see how I go. I might end up just cutting it in half. Easier. This bit here is easy. It just wraps around to the back corner. Maybe goes into the firewall. Might go through the firewall. I think this is an auto car before, so it probably does. It just goes through to one connector, which is easy enough to pop out. But yeah, it's a bit of a bastard of a job. pretty much just no fun bits about it. Just gotta rip the dash out, which makes me nervous for those top vents. I don't even know what condition mine are in. Got a feeling they're good, so hopefully I don't hurt them. And then just unplug absolutely everything. Then obviously the mission of afterwards, what do I want plugged back in? I gotta make my own plugs. Well, not make my own plugs, make my own wiring to the plugs. Don't know if the time lapse would have captured it, but I had success. I got these top vents out and I didn't crack them. Yeah, alright, I broke a couple of little tabs off, but I can't really do much about that. Just happy to get the bloody things out. Obviously dash is out, and now I've exposed all the wiring, and I'm just going to go nuts off camera and get it all out, or as much as I can today. Working on the constraints of having to go to work after this. So I've only got so much time, and I want to get it done. Then I can bloody work out all the switching points for the switches. Steering column's dropped. Bit for the dash that I won't actually need anymore. Yeah, we got a heap to rip out. Time to crack on. Got the looms out of the front. Alright, I had to cut them. I couldn't help myself. They're pretty messed up, and I thought, bugger it, why not? So I did. There's actually about half a foot of loom still in there, as it's wedged in between a brace, and I've got to take the guard off to get to it. Guards aren't coming off today. Guards are going to have to come off later when they get fixed up for paint. So, well, and that'll be a couple of months off, so they can stay there for now. No point doing extra work if I don't have to. Inside the car, it's looking pretty bloody bare. I was a bit more gentle in here. Still got the door loom plug there, same on the other side. But yeah, she's pretty bloody empty. From about the door card back, still got all the loom in there. Just got to pull that out. I don't want to pull the trim apart today, and it's easy enough. There's not much going on there, so it can wait. It can wait. What is that? What is that fucking... Oh yeah, just part of the aircon tube. I had no idea what was going on there. Thought it was some dicky aftermarket thing. But yeah, back to square one in the engine bay. Which means, next video, we can start putting real stuff together. I mean, it's still going to be a bit of cleaning. I want to pull a couple more things off just to clean them. But that's on the road to success. We're on the bloody downhill path now, the fun bit. Rocket cover, obviously, get the fittings into it. And I can start mocking everything up. And, of course, clean the bay. That's a big one. But for now, that's me done. Time to order some parts.